Hello everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. So this video is going to be a continuation video for my previous video, which is the review for Yamaha home theater HDMI system 1840. So in this video we will discuss around how to install the home theater system along with the proper right settings for the home theater system that will make the home theater system sound better, especially the Yamaha ones. So some of the settings in this video will also relate to other brand home theater systems that are not Yamaha also, because the most of the systems are similar to each other. So let's start with the video. So let us start with the speaker setup. So the 5.1 system contains like one subwoofer and 5 speakers. The 5 speakers are like one center channel and 4 satellite surround speakers. So the center channel speaker is something that is placed in the center. So as you can see here, so this center channel speaker usually works with the dialogue sound. So dialogues are produced from the center channel speakers. So that is the reason it is much more wider and larger in strength. And the surround speakers provide all the surround effects and the instruments. So the center speaker also produces instruments, but not to a greater level. So coming to installation, the center channel speaker has to be placed below the television, right facing towards you, because you need to hear the dialogues crystal clear. And the surround speakers can be placed on corners. So the front speakers, angle them so that they face towards you and keep them on the same level as the center channel speaker. So when coming to the rear surround speakers, you can install them on an elevated stand. So usually make sure they're at least 5 feet in height. The reason being is you don't want the frequencies from the front channel and the surround channel to collide with each other. So that sort of creates interference and muddy sound, that the sound is not clear. And coming to the next thing is installing subwoofer. So subwoofer, it is always better to place the subwoofer on the floor, angled in the way that it covers the entire room. So this will ensure that the thump effects or bass effects fill the entire room properly. Okay. So so the installation is simple. Everything has like 2 plugs on positive and negative, and the back of the home theater system has the same plug. So it will be fair, in fact very easy for you to install the wires and all. So but better get some professional help while installing the wires, because some of the wiring systems are little complicated. So a proper electrician or the one who is experienced in installing systems can help you to guide the wires better. So next thing is we'll take you through the remote options that are present on the Yamaha home theater system. So the main buttons we require is the setup and option, which contains all the settings for the proper setting of the home theater system. So I'll explain you what all each of the option are. So these settings will also be relevant to any brand home theater system that you are using. It will be done on Onkyo or any other system, because the terminology is usually similar. Okay, so right, if you go into setup, so there are multiple options. So it starts with the first option is speaker. If you go into speaker, it says configuration. In configuration, you can choose what kind of subwoofer are you using, what kind of front, center, surround, and the crossover is the maximum hertz of the frequency that the subwoofer can take. So if you reduce the crossover, only not all the hires are sent, so it limits to that particular frequency. So if you increase the crossover, you might get boomy sound because there are too many high frequencies that are sent to the subwoofer. So choose the right frequency there. If the frequency is too low, you might not get any thump or bass at all. If it is too high, it might sound too boomy. So if you go to subwoofer phase, it basically normal means when you have 2 subwoofers, place one in normal, one in reverse, so that the frequencies don't collide with each other. And second, you have extra bass, which means it enhances the bass a little bit. And you also have virtual cinema front. It basically boosts the sound all the speakers whenever you place the speakers on the front itself. In some places you might now or might not have option to place the speakers in a surround configuration. In that case, the better option is to use virtual cinema front, because that will create the surround effect even if the speakers are placed in front. And next is distance. You can measure at what distance you place each speakers, but for this particular home theater system, it is better you add distance of 4 times for surround left and right. Only then you can hear those tiny effects and all. So for subwoofer, place the effect as like place the distance as like around 2 to 2.5 times. So I placed at 10 feet. So this works very well. So it might change. So keep playing a song and change the settings to what you might feel which is the right setting. and the level is adding some more volume to each of the speaker over the volume that you have given. So if you have given 10, it will add some more plus 1.5 to the front, left and right. So here I have added more volume to center speaker because I want to hear the dialogues clearly, and added more to surround left and right, like plus 6 decibels, so that I want to hear those effects properly. And subwoofer I've added around 8 decibels. So front, left and right I left it at 1.5. You can also increase it if you need more instruments and all. So next is equalizer. I generally turn it off. I follow the flat whatever the source is providing. I don't like to mess it up, but you can tune the equalizer of each and every channel, like front, left, right, center and all. So it depends upon your taste and if you have the time and patience. Other one in test tone, you switch it on, it tests all the speakers so that you know if you have collected the speakers properly or not. Next we are going to HDMI. So this basically is HDMI control. It has 4K upscaling, like upscale HD to 4K. What kind of TV audio input you are using, standby sync is it available, I mean TV turns off, theater turns off, ARC audio written channel is on, and scene controls, what kind of scene you want to on and off. So these are scene controls. And next is sound. In sound and DSP parameter, the panorama is basically width of the sound. I mean, so if increase the panorama and I place the center width, I've increased the center width, what it does is it distributes the dialogue sounds from center channel to the front, left and right channels also. So if I decrease the center width, all the dialogue sound is concentrated towards the center speaker only. So if you feel that if you need those wide effect like a theater hall effect, you can increase the center width and the dimension of it. But panorama, if you keep it on, it gives a hall effect, but if you keep it on, if you turn it off also, it is fine, but I prefer keeping it turned off because I don't want that resound or a kind of feeling. So next is lip sync. You can do manual adjustment here if you need it, and usually it only is required when there is a delay between the audio and video. And dialogue, what dialogue level you need, I put it at 3. Only at 3 you can hear the dialogue clearly, or else it's not that clear. And volume, what kind of scale you want it in decibels or you want it in 0 to 97, what should be the initial volume, what should be the dynamic range, should it be standard or should it be maximum or it should be minimum or auto, like that. Okay, so I left it at standard. That worked for me. And eco is basically auto power standby, how much time you want to system go to standby, or eco mode, I mean it reduces the power of the amplifier, so you don't want that, right? Because what we need is better sound quality. And function is basically, do you want to rename the inputs? Okay, if you want to skip any input when you are using this, there is an input button here. So this input button, you can, while switching inputs, you can use that input button there. And next one is called dimmer. So it basically reduces the brightness or increase the brightness of the front display of the home theater system. And memory card, I think it saves some of the settings to the speaker in case of reset and all, but I'm not sure. So remote color keys, so there are the color buttons on the remote control, so you can choose what these color buttons do. I'm going to back. Next one is language, self-explanatory. We go to option. So this has like input, select what input you want to select here. And second thing, it has a tone control, so you can choose the amount of treble and bass. Okay, and DSP, so what kind of digital signal processing and surround systems you want for each and everything. You can select the different equal the DSP level. Do you need the adaptive dynamic range control on and off? Do you need the enhancer? It will enhance the sound to add some little more depth to that sound. And adaptive DRC is basically if the dynamic ranges in the input volume, I mean some instruments or dialogues are low, it will try to boost them. So that is the adaptive DRC. And the next one is volume trim. Volume trim is basically adds more volume to like your input and also the subwoofer. So for thumping bass, I added some more trim to the subwoofer and little to the input trim. So I felt that was enough for me. And the next one is lip sync. So do you want to automatically switch on or off? And signal info gives you just the signal info here. And the audio in, what type of audio in is connected from the HDMI R. So we also have different inputs like HDMI 1 to 4, so you can choose the right amount of HDMI setting here. So you better pause the video and see the settings that I have used, so you can sort of try the same settings on your system. You need to play around sound numbers like the distance, the volume trim, the adaptive DRC, so these settings, so that you get the exact signature of sound that you like and is right for your room. So it all all people might not like a standard sound signature, right? So choose the setting that is right to you. So these settings are usually similar among the different home theater systems also, but the Yamaha has these names, and the names might differ a little bit, but most of the time the names are similar in different sound systems. So this is the the setting the home theater and installation of the home theater system. So installation doesn't mean just installing the wires and all. Choosing the right settings will make the maximum amount of difference of the quality of the sound you receive. Okay, so this is my video about the settings. So if you have any doubts, just leave a comment below. Thank you.